Got the load rescued. It was raining like crazy. Just 2 skids. We pushed it over from one van to the other. This guy, though, I feel bad. I feel bad for one, having to rescue somebody's load. And this guy, super nice guy, 72-year-old guy, and he was in an accident. He basically ran off the road into somebody's yard and tore up the van. He didn't exactly say how that happened, but the van was at the tow yard because the police wouldn't release it to him because they felt like something was off with him. They searched him, they sobriety tested him, passed all that stuff. They took him to a hotel. He was staying at a hotel. Which, funny thing about that is when I was at the tow yard, I had to go get money for a release, to release the van, basically. So it's paying for the entire van to be released before I could take anything from it. So I went to Speedway, and at the Speedway, this guy was there, which I didn't know it was him at the time. He comes up to me and asks me, "Hey man, can you give me a ride to this place?" And he hands me a business card, and it's going to the tow yard. He's got a Panther hat on, and I told him, I said, "Yeah," I said, "I'm the one here to rescue the load." And he's, "Oh, okay, great. You mind if I ride over?" "No big deal, ride with me." And he's telling me a story about what happened, and he doesn't say exactly how he ended up in the grass. And he's like, "Oh yeah, just a little bit of damage on the front, you know, nothing big, you know, no big deal. You know, the van was still drivable," and told me the whole story about the cops, you know, not wanting to let him drive off with the van and all this stuff. So I'm thinking, you know, that's kind of crazy. You know, I'm just curious to look at the van, and I figured that he's just going to be able to drive it off no problem. And we get over there to offload it, and got to looking at that van. That van is tore up in the front. I don't know what he hit going into this yard or while he was in that yard, but the driver's side mirrors ripped off. Everything's all tore up around there. The front driver's side headlight was all smashed up. The bumper shrouding, that plastic shrouding, is all tore to, you know, loose and just hanging there on either side. The right side is all damaged on the, you know, the headlight's fine, but down on the bumper area and fender area. The driver's side wheel is kind of bowed out a little bit, and just all kinds of chunks of weeds and stuff underneath of it. You can see it hanging there. And again, nice guy, man, but to hear his story and then look at the van, you can just tell he's just, you meet certain types of characters out here, and you know, they're just, I don't know, man. I don't know if they're just not totally connected with reality. Their reality's a little bit different. I ain't trying to like psychoanalyze or something here, but you just see a lot of guys that are like this gentleman was, and I feel bad. He's all, well, when he first came to the van and we were talking at Speedway, he's like, "Hey man, take down my information, man. You ever need a driver? I'm a good driver," and all this and that. And I'm thinking, like he's got a lot of get up and go for 72, but at the same time, like, dude, you just put a van into a yard and you don't even know how, because his wording was something to the effect of, "Yeah, next thing I know, I'm in the yard." And I asked him, "Well, what happened?" And he didn't answer, so I didn't want to press him or anything. I don't know what his deal was, and because I'm not trying to demonize the guy or anything. Like I said, I truly feel bad for the guy. Open up the van in the back. Just a bare bones van with the folded up cot. It's a mess. It's dirty. Straps just laying and hanging everywhere. Like the plastic pieces that are plastic coverings in the back are just half on, you know, torn apart. The van's been rode rough. So the van's been rode rough, man. It's been treated rough. So and he says he's been doing this for about 6 months. And I bring all that up because that's one thing. I wish I could figure out a way to put together something. A buddy of mine had talked about it kind of a bit, you know, basically some kind of, you know, you have CDL school, but something similar, but for expediters. Anyhow, I got interrupted. So what I was saying is that a kind of schooling for expedite drivers. because like this guy, he said he had 6 months experience, and before this he didn't do any kind of over-the-road stuff. He was just doing some car staging at a assembly facilities for Chrysler and Ford, I believe he said. So I see that so often, and I always wonder when I see guys that are in vans that are like that, whether in disarray or just bare bones, are they in that situation because they're, if it's, if they're driving for somebody, or if they're driving themselves because they just don't know what to put in their van, what all they need. They don't know like nothing about the industry besides, hey, I can get a van and I can sign on somewhere and get paid to drive. Just basically what do they know, what don't they know, and then some of these guys are just in bad situation financially. A lot of drivers are. I mean, I've been there. I mean, I'm tight at the moment, with my van sitting out there in Tulsa and everything. So I get it. Which is, and I'm not going to get too deep into this portion of it, but that's why I feel so harshly, or how I feel about people that try to spread information about the cargo van business as though it's a gold mine, as though it's such a lucrative industry to get into, and if you touch it, you're gonna turn to gold. That's why it bothers me, because more often than not, again, there's a lot of people out here that have mental health issues and financial issues and just personal stuff going on. It's a really tough thing to get into the over-the-road cargo van business. So that's just one of the things. Like I said, just running into that guy and talking with him. I've talked to so many people that are like so similar to his situation. But yeah, that was the point in bringing up that, just thinking about some way to, I've always tried to figure out a way to basically streamline the information in a way that whether I've just got some, I don't want to talk too much about it, because again, there's certain things I want to keep close to the vest. So we'll see what's going on. But anyhow, on to the next part real quick. Just a recap. Did the rescue. I picked that up in Kalamazoo at that junkyard, tow yard, and took that up to Oshkosh. That was like 320 miles ish. Got that up there and delivered about 2 o'clock Central Time in the afternoon. Not really a lot goes on up there. You can get the occasional load that pops up, and the good thing about waiting up there, if you're patient, you can wait up there, and if a load pops up there, you got a really good chance of getting it, and at a good rate. But if it doesn't, then you just wasted a day there. So I'm on a time constraint because I wanted to be home. I only want to stay out 3 days at a time. And with being out for just a few days at a time, I'm trying to make the most of my time out here. So I hurried up and I just started jetting towards Sturtevant, Wisconsin, which puts me about an hour outside of all the good stuff in the Chicago area, and puts Madison and Janesville and things like that in play as well. So that's what I was doing. I got just about to Sturtevant, where I was going to park, landed a load picking up out of Elgin, going down to Chillicothe, Ohio, 412 miles, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I got that one. What did I get that at? $535, I think, is what I bid on it. I figure I'm going to Ohio, that way then I can just go home, which is what I'm doing now. I'm just on my way home, about an hour away from the house at the moment. But I was supposed to pick that up at 19:30 last night Central, so 7:30 is when I was supposed to pick it up. I got there around 6 o'clock, about 10 till 6. It wasn't ready. Now the guy says, "Oh, we'll call you." Dude, don't trust these guys whenever they say that. It's really tough. I know when you go in and you're continually asking them about the freight, they may get annoyed, but they're not, more often than not, they're going to not call you. So, and obviously I'm saying that because I just had that happen. He says he's going to call. And I'm out there, I'm waiting. It's like 8 o'clock, I decided, okay, or no, 7:45. It was 7:45. I went in, checked back in with him, and he just kind of was like, I don't know. And then he just got to doing whatever else he was doing, and people were just constantly coming in, one after another after another. I'm like, you know what, this dude obviously ain't checking. You know what, I'm gonna trust him that he's gonna call me. Went back outside, I laid it down in the van, because I'm like, I need to get a nap anyhow, because it was gonna be kind of a tight one with only about a couple hours to spare until delivery as far as what I could sleep. So I was like, well, let me go ahead and get a nap now, man, while the time's there. I'll just let him call. This is on him then, you know. And that's what I did. Just laid down, got about an hour and a half, 2 hours sleep, probably about an hour and a half. Woke up, it was 10:30. It was about 8:30 when I went back out to the van, you know, tossing and turning. There is a train that goes by there and blowing the horn because there's a crossing. So had that happening, trucks coming in and out, vans coming in and out, door slamming shut on the office door, and the porta potty that wasn't too far away. So it was really tough to fall asleep, but I finally fell asleep. And on that note right there, guys, like, that is something you really have to be mindful of, which is getting your rest when you can. And I know some people, they're like, oh, I just couldn't sleep, I couldn't sleep. You have to force yourself to sleep sometimes. You just really have to shut the brain down and just force yourself to fall asleep, man. And it don't matter if it's for 20 minutes or something, just nodding off is an extreme help in you know, being awake and dealing with a drive overnight or a long drive or something. So always try to get that sleep when you can. I could have sat there and played on my phone, made phone calls, done whatever, but I wanted that sleep. Like, I don't want to be miserably tired, so I tried to get as much sleep as I could. So anyhow, I woke up, it was 10:30, got up, went inside, check in with him, and then he's like asking me my pickup number and all the stuff, all the same stuff I gave him earlier. And then he's like, comes back with my paperwork, and it's ready. So it's like, see, he didn't count, you know, I couldn't count on him to call me. So he gave me my paperwork, I went around back, got loaded and everything. So anyhow, I drove that one straight through, didn't stop and get no sleep, and I arrived there at about 7 a.m. this morning, a little after 7 a.m. this morning Eastern. It was due by 8. So got that dropped off and immediately just started heading towards the house. Like I said, I stopped here. I was thinking about taking a nap because I am like really tired, and I know if I go home, like, there's just a chance I'll get bothered and won't be able to sleep. Like, I don't know how any of you guys are, but sometimes I get a better nap sitting in the van somewhere like this. I like this, guys. Like, I like a nice breeze, a nice day, just sitting in a lot. I don't know, man. I'm screwed up, dude. I'm messed up in the head. But anyhow, that's the thing. So my week is over. I'll recap the week in another video, let you guys know what I do, like, as far as when I do these little, you know, 2-3 days out. It goes better than what I had thought they would go. It's been going good so far, knock on plastic. But yeah, finished that this morning, came home. It's 11 o'clock right now. Once I get this video and everything done, I'm gonna head to the house. I got one driver booked on a shorty this morning, just a Houston or a Laredo to Victoria, Texas, just a couple 100 miles. Now I gotta try and find a load for my driver out in PA, in Macungie, PA. So hopefully I can get that driver a load today as well. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get off of here, I'm gonna head to the house, try and find these loads and grab some sleep before the grandbaby comes home this evening. And because once she gets home, I am not gonna get no sleep for sure. She will not let me go and take a nap. That ain't happening. So all right, guys, I'm gonna get off here and I will holler at you guys in the next video, man. Be safe.
Your hustle gotta be strong in this industry, as in any other industry.